Hey guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we are taking a look at Marvel's Midnight Suns. Now, it's a bit of a conflict of interest for me because I'm kind of like keeping money away from the Disney company as much as possible because they just ruin everything I love. Occasionally there's something that comes along I can justify by it's not just Disney, you know, so like I could say Firaxis or 2K get my money, much like Spider-Man No Way Home. I could say Sony got my money there, but boo Disney, hell go you, basically. So anyway, let's talk about the Midnight Suns. It's done by Firaxis, who are the guys that did XCOM and XCOM 2. Wonderful games. We reviewed, did we review the first one? I can't remember if we reviewed the first one, but we definitely reviewed the second one, and I did first impressions on Chimera Squad. Great games. Superb games, a well-worthy sort of continuation from the old school XCOM games back in the day, which I actually played on the Amiga, not the PC. But there we go, a little history for you. And now they've basically taken their strategy expertise into making a Marvel game, or at least a game with Marvel characters in. Let's put it that way. I feel better about things. So it was actually it was a case of I had the opportunity to get one before Christmas and one for Christmas, so I was kind of like, it's either this or it's the Callisto Protocol, and then I saw like reports on how well that ran on PC, so I was like, okay, Midnight Suns it is. Hopefully that'll be patched by the time I get it at Christmas, and then I can do a review on that as well, so yay. Given how expensive video games are, I kind of have to do reviews when I buy one. Sorry, I'm feeling much better, I promise you. So, Midnight Suns. It starts off with Dr. Faustus and Hydra trying to resurrect Lilith, who is the mother of all demons. That's a nice lady. And Doctor Strange and a few other heroes unsuccessfully stopping them. And then they retreat to the Abbey and they resurrect you. You are your character called the Hunter, who is the son of Lilith and is responsible for killing her the first time. Yes, she's resurrected. And you get to create your character. You don't get to pick like different skills and stuff like that. Well, you kind of do, but it's interesting. So I'll leave that for a bit. But so you have Hunter, and then you go around doing turn-based missions against mainly Hydra, a few magical enemies. There's some magical trials you do as well, stuff like that. And the Fallen, which are like possessed heroes, stroke villains. The first one you'll come across is Venom. It shows up quite a lot. They do recycle them quite a bit. I haven't completed the game. I am 30 hours into it and haven't completed it, so you get your money's worth. I've seen some people say they're like 80 hours in. You can realistically take as much time as you want because you're not on a timer for the story missions. Even though you kind of are in the plot, it's functionally not on a timer. But it just keeps giving you side missions, so if you want to do side missions, just do side missions. You know, build up your friendship and stuff like that. And although the story missions do change their level to match you, you will have benefits from doing that, such as there's some pretty good links when you're friends with people, and you can do hero combos and stuff like that and get passive benefits for that. You can upgrade your abilities. The abilities themselves and how you play the game is really interesting. So basically every turn you get a hand of cards. And you have each hero, and each hero has a deck of cards, and you pick them, and they all go into the pool and randomly get drawn out, and then are recycled. So you don't run out of cards no matter how long you take, you just keep redrawing. And there are ones which will grant you heroism, which is like this meter on the right, and there are ones that will cost you heroism, which is the meter on the right. There are some cards that are free cards, because you can only play a certain amount per turn. I think it starts at 3. But you can use abilities, items, and some training to actually increase that. So normally when you play a card, obviously that's that's one of your card plays gone. But there's a few ways around it where you can do stuff without having to use card plays. So for instance, any ability with the word card with the word quick on it, as long as you kill whatever you're hitting, it refunds you the card. So your ability card will go, but your card plays will remain at 3 if it was the first one you used. There's also movement abilities. So if you look on the battlefield, there could be a stack of newspapers that you could lob at somebody. It costs heroism, but it doesn't cost a card play. And you can kick pallets at people or vault them and jump on other people. And you kind of need to like get your hero's position so you have one move per turn, because they move as they execute these abilities, but you can purposely move one to a specific location once. So it's really useful for lining things up if you want to use the environment to your advantage, and some of the environmental attacks are really useful. Like being able to take out 3 people with like one kick pallet is really, really useful. The enemies, they are recycled a lot, but it's to be expected in this sort of game, so it's not a real criticism. They can be annoying as hell, some of them. There's a sniper which marks you to be weak, then becomes invisible, which means you can't directly target him, so you've got to like use an area effect that doesn't directly target, or just have him in the way of something. If you can do that, you knock him out and he reappears again. Otherwise, next turn he just shoots you with his sniper rifle for massive damage, and it's just like, ugh, I couldn't touch it, it's so unfair. You'll have big shieldy guys that once you break their shields are just big punchy guys. Stuff like that. The being able to fight the fallen villains and heroes is easily the most challenging part that I've come across so far. Speaking of heroes, you do get quite a lot in this game. I definitely haven't got them all. I think the last one I got was Captain America. So I've got, let's see, Blade, Iron Man, Captain America, Spider-Man, the Hunter, obviously, Magic, Nico, I can't remember her last name, she was one of the Runaways, and Doctor Strange, and I'm sure, Robbie Reyes, you know, new Ghost Rider, who's not as good as Johnny Blaze in my opinion, but although his car's banging, I like his car. And so you get all those guys, and there's still more. I know there's I've seen Wolverine turn up, but he hasn't joined yet, so I know Wolverine's in it. So looking forward to getting him and some of the other guys that are yet to be found. The actual combat itself is really fun and good. It is a bit RNG based because obviously you're relying on what cards you draw. You can redraw cards, so you can do 2 per round or more if you get an ability that allows you to do so. But again, it's a random draw, so you don't know what you'll get. You could like redraw a card and have the exact same card turn up. But it does add a nice. You sort of look at your hand and you have to think, okay, well I can take this guy out with this one, and then I can use him over here, and then use that, and that will leave me this many heroism points, and then I can use this.
Agatha was right.
There is a bit of a learning curve to it, because quite early on I was finding I was doing all that planning and then forgetting about how much the last card I wanted to play cost heroically. It was like, oh damn it, I can't afford to do that now. Or one of Robbie's powerful cards is he gets his Hell motor car and just drives it through a load of people, and it's super powerful, but you discard the rest of your hand, and I managed to play that first because I forgot about it. Because I'm a dumbass. So though there is a learning curve to it, you don't take cover or anything like that like you do in XCOM. I guess that's because you're superheroes, right? You will get some abilities that will allow you to counter or block certain amounts of damage or attacks, but it's all very much sort of drilled into the abilities and the cards that you use. So you can upgrade cards just by getting excuse me, just by getting two additional ones, I should say, and then you can merge them together, and it might give it like knockback. Knockback is excellent. Love knockback in this game. So you can punch somebody, But instead of just punching them and doing damage, you can knock them back. And you can aim where you knock them back. If it's some abilities will allow you just a small arcs, some will allow you to knock them back anywhere really. And you can knock them into another bad guy to do damage to both of them. Just a piece of scenery. And you actually managed to knock someone through a wall. I can't remember if it was in the footage I captured or just before or after that. I can't remember. Hopefully it was. And he fell off the top of a roof. It almost killed my PC. I don't know what it was, but like it was. I'd never done it before, and it was like the PC went, "What? What is this? I was not aware of this." And kind of freaked out for about 10 seconds, and then came back and told me he died. And then all of a sudden, the wall exploded. I was like, "Oh, okay." I'm pretty sure that was the wrong order, but whatever. So knockback's super good ability to have on the field, but it's really just about working out the best and most efficient way to get rid of the enemies. You have two types, well, three types. You get like minions who are like one-hit quitters. Yeah, they do damage, but if you hit them just once for any amount of damage, they will go down. Then you have like regular guys who are the sniper and the shield guy, or just bigger versions of the minions, so they have a gun and a stun club and a health bar, but that's about it. And then you have obviously the sort of bosses, which are the Fallen, and they're obviously a lot tougher, like Venom. He gets back up after you put him down the first time, stuff like that. Bit annoying. He's like, yeah, no, just like that. But it's a super fun game. What's not quite as much fun is the stuff back at the mansion. So it does a very Mass Effect-y thing where you do the mission, you come back, then you do a night bit, and then you go to bed, and then you do a day bit, and then you do another mission, and then repeat. A lot of the stuff you do at the mansion, the Abbey, sorry, is busy work, for lack of a better term. There's some stuff I like, there's some stuff I don't like. So it switches to, say, running about in third person as Hunter at the Abbey, and you can interact with the other heroes, and you can increase your relationship with them by doing strange things that are a bit out of place with a lot of them. But yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I wanted to go stargazing with Blade, but I did it. The octopus, because, he gave me points on his little bar, so what? There's also the Forge, so you get Coils for doing missions, so you have a couple of different types. You have like intelligence, intel, not intelligence. I can't remember, I think it was like ability Coils, and artifacts as well, and you can bring those back with you and research them. And what the ability calls do is they give you like 4 cards, show you like the heroes next to the icon for the core of who were at that mission, so it will give you 4 random cards for them, some good, some not so good, and you get to pick 2 to keep and take them with you, and then you can add them to that hero's deck. The artifact stuff, I think it gives you buffs. I can't remember because it's been a while since I had one. Oh, this is going well. And then you have the intel ones, which unlock other heroic missions. So from your intel center, you can send members of your roster out to do missions that take a day. So that basically locks them off for doing the actual gameplay mission. They're just like away, much like in Chimera Squad, you could do that. And they'll bring back like resources and stuff like that. You have a gift shop which you can buy gifts from. No shit. And you can, when you're hanging out with other heroes, you can give them the gifts, and it will enhance the amount of points you get from them.
I need some friendly advice. And
I mean, there is quite a lot to explore in the Abbey, because it has its own like island, and you run around it, and there's quick travel points, and it's almost like a very small open world. But it's just not hugely interesting. I mean, you have a shop that Peter and
on the nature versus
Mr.
question?
Reyes open. I can't remember his first name. I'm sure it will come to me, never mind. But Ghost Rider. They open that, and you can go there and get buffs from there. And then you have
our environment that molds
emo kids.
It's clear that
Yes, I know.
different
Emo
if I was
kids.
raised by my mother.
It's like
Okay,
a magical
based on that
book
logic,
club, and then you have an
I was
actual
raised
book
by my
club
mother for most of my life,
that
and she
Blade
was
sets up because he
pretty
wants to
evil,
doink
so
Carol Danvers, but can't get
how
the
can you
balls
be sure
together
that I'm
to
not,
just
you know,
ask her directly.
evil?
So he decides to have a book club and invites her to it, and then
I know
instead of
well
just
enough
her, he ends
by
up with
now,
you and
Nico.
Captain America as well.
You chart your own. You are not your mother.
But, you know, again, all these activities
I
do
bet
give you
parts of it
benefits that
probably
pay
rubbed
off
on me,
in
or,
the game
you know,
side, whether it's passive
literally running
bonuses
through my veins.
or increasing your friendship
know,
or,
Hunter.
you know, giving you an
I
item
feel
you
like
can use
I'm
on the
holding myself
battlefield.
back, worrying about this stuff.
You have all of that.
You've been around me
So it's
enough.
worth doing.
I
It's just
kinda trust you.
some of it's a bit
What do you think?
rough. Some of it's not so rough.
If you want to reach
There's a
your
bit where
true
magic
potential,
storms out,
You need to come to terms with your past.
and you go into
Okay.
limbo by yourself to try and
How?
find her. And I thought that was quite a good one, really. I quite like that, because, like, magic's a bit of a ornery
Even if
bitch.
your
And,
mother is gone,
you know,
you
so
still
am I,
have the
so
power to forgive.
I kind of enjoyed that
How
one.
does that work?
But then you've got stuff like I'm sitting at the
Accept
pool
her
with Tony
errors as
Stark in our
much, But
smalls.
let go of the resentment.
Tony Stark just has a
Refuse to
mustache.
let it weigh
I
you
know
down.
that was like a thing, but
Take control over
ever since
your
Robert
story.
Downey Jr., I just
Oh,
he needs the
I
goatee.
like that taking control
That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay. I think I might have a plan now.
So yeah,
Feel
the
better?
mansion stuff isn't
Not
that
yet,
good.
but
There's
I
some
will.
good parts to it. Generally, it's a lot of running around doing the same things over and over. There is a storyline you can progress. So you go through a blood portal. Ooh. And you take a test by fighting a load of demons, basically. And your dog comes through to help your dog Charlie, because you have a demon dog called Charlie, who breathes fire. Because okay.
Hey,
And
can I
don't
ask
forget to
a favor?
pet him every day to increase his friendship level as well. It's just, I don't know, it gets to the point where you're looking forward to doing the missions a lot more than
Good girl, Charlie.
the sort of home-based stuff, because it's all just so low-key. There's nothing that really happens there. You're like, oh well, you know, the Abbey guys get a bit pissed off that the Avengers are there and taking over, and you know, you're like, deal with it. There's bigger problems. Christ, your heroes. You know, the world is in danger. Let's hero the shit out of this.
And that's why I need your help with
But no, they'd rather moan that like Tony Stark is watching over their shoulders while they're building cars and shit.
Handle something like that?
Ugh. I don't know. There's good bits and there's bad bits. I mean, it's a case. I'm just really ambivalent towards it, so I think I'm just going to talk about the mansion there because
The Abbey is filled
the
with
Abbey.
spirits.
Ugh, can't stop
But I
doing that.
suggest making peace with whatever spectre also
I should probably
occupies
tell
your
you
room.
that you do have a wardrobe. You can customize your room, sort of in so far as you
That
can
is one
buy
way
things
of
for it,
putting
and
it.
they're placed in preset positions.
think we're talking
You can buy
about cute
picture
little
frames and then
friendly
pick up
Abbey
pictures
ghosts.
from around the mansion and
At
put
around
them in the
3
picture
morning,
frames.
every morning, I wake
You
up
get
and
small
wait
picture
for
frames as
veg
well, which
of
cost a
what can
lot
only be
and
described as
just
a
go on the
mixture of
furniture you've
old
purchased.
socks and eggs that
I'm
are
not actually sure what you
years
put in there
past
yet
their
because
expiration date.
apparently I haven't picked up a picture that you can put in the picture frame, and there's a lot of peas, and I wish I'd put a pop filter on my. Never mind. I'm sure it will be fine.
Are you
And
sure it's
you
not
can
Doctor
you get
Strange?
costumes as well.
Now that you mention it, Stephen does practice
There's
magic late at
one
night.
you have like Midnight Suns one where you have to
Mystery
like unlock max friendship level or complete the game or something like
Someone I
that.
can hire to exercise?
With Hunter, there's ones you can buy for in-game currency.
Something
A
tells
lot of the
me she
Midnight
wouldn't mind
Suns
having one less
ones you
Avenger
can
living
buy
here.
with in-game currency, but it's
Thanks
in-game
for the talk,
currency you'll
Hunter.
have
Let's
to
do it again sometime
buy.
soon.
So yes, there is DLC in this. It's cosmetic, but you know, some of them are some of the cooler outfits. Let's put it that way. That you probably want. So that they are expecting you to spend money and are doing their best to like try and wring it from you, as per usual. But yeah, great mission gameplay. Although some of it can drag on, and you're kind of like, okay. Especially the storyline missions, that they can go a bit long, in my opinion. But overall, really good experience. very different from XCOM, but you can still feel some of the genes from XCOM in it. The Abbey experience is a bit... you kind of go through it because it helps you while you're on the field. But, I mean, there's a few bits, but it just seems like it's trying way too hard to be funny a lot of the time, and a lot of the jokes don't land. Some do, but a lot don't. And like I say, some of the activities are just left field. I don't really know why Blade would want to go stargazing with me.
Wow. The
Is he
books
trying
in
to
this place
turn
are
me?
something else. Did you
Into a
know
vampire,
there
of
was
course.
An entire section about spiders and the occult.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'm going to leave it on that incendiary note. So let us
Find anything interesting?
see,
You bet.
put
My
what
top
you
two
think
have to be a
about
scroll about a
Midnight
fire-breathing
Suns
spider Cerberus,
in the
and
comments
a nice
below.
haiku about a furry spider
Am I
stealing
full of
from
shit?
people's toenails.
Probably.
Thanks. Now I know to never read
But
those.
I have played 30 hours of it. I am quite enjoying
All this
it.
reading got me thinking, and there is something
Even
I
if
wanted
the
to run
mansion
by you.
parts have to be suffered through a
My
little bit.
Spider roots and
So
the
there you go.
spiders being so
Anyway, guys,
adjacent,
take it easy.
and
I'll catch you
being
next time.
I can maybe be a good fit.